This video is presented by EA Game Changes. Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. My name is Jovan and I'm the administrator of the Sims community website, and in this video I'm going to be talking all about the brand new neighborhood action plans that come with the Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle expansion pack. So that's right, one of the biggest features that come along with this pack are these NAPs, that's a short term for neighborhood action plans, and with them you are basically able to control the entire neighborhood with certain actions. And so these NAPs are gonna define the way that your neighborhood acts. There are some certain benefits, some certain cuts that you get with NAPs, and there is a huge variety of them to choose. So some of them affect your Sims skills, some of them completely change the way they behave, some of them bring some improvements, and some of them are definitely gonna challenge up your gameplay. So with these NAPs, you can define every neighborhood in The Sims 4. It's not just the brand new world of Evergreen Harbor. This feature can be used in every single neighborhood. So for example, if you want to have a neighborhood in Willow Creek who is drunk all the time, you can have the Juice Community NAP enforced over there if you have enough influence points. But also the thing about these NAPs is the fact that random action plans are gonna spawn upon different neighborhoods. You have to make sure that you live in that neighborhood in order to vote for certain action plans. And the second thing is that you can definitely visit other neighborhoods, but you won't be able to affect those action plans. You can only vote for action plans in a certain neighborhood that you live in. So without further ado, let's jump into the gameplay and explain the user interface a little bit more and what each neighborhood action plan does. The biggest addition in the personality section of your user interface are the neighborhood action plans that you can see in the bottom right corner, and there you can see the full voting schedule for action plans and if the voting is open or not, as well as how many influence points do you have and which action plan are you repelling against. So to explain this a little bit more, you are able to vote for neighborhood action plans from Friday at 8 a.m. to Monday at 6 p.m. and during that period, you can vote for certain neighborhood action plans if you have enough influence points. Now, when it comes to the influence points, there are a lot of things in the game that give you influence. So some of those things include following rules of an enacted policy, civil designer career interactions, friendly introductions, becoming friends, good friends, best friends, inviting Sims to the player house, getting promoted, giving gifts, mentoring, hosting an event. So the better performance of a certain event, the more influence you get, and choosing about something, adding to a Simstagram story, recruiting Sims into a club, increasing social network followers, political career interaction success, participating in festivals, participating in holidays, ranking up in level fame, ranking up in positive reputation level, participating in island events, improving island conservation career, getting a degree, organization rank up, volunteering, and defeating the mother plant. So some of the things that I mentioned in this list of things that give you influence points are featured in some of the previous packs. So for example, the defeating the mother plant is going to give you influence points, but of course you're going to be needing the Sims 4 Strangerville game pack in order, for this to happen. You can spawn the neighborhood action plans user interface by selecting the neighborhood action plans voting board or selecting your mailbox, because these voting boards are only placed on neighborhoods in Evergreen Harbor, but they won't be placed in previous worlds. You're going to have to do that yourselves in each and every neighborhood. But if you don't want to do that, you can of course just choose the mailbox and choose to vote for an action plan or to repel against a certain action plan. Now, like I mentioned, you can only vote from Friday at 8 a.m. to Monday at 6 p.m. and after that, the results are going to be published. You can of course check the status of which action plans are taking the lead in the certain neighborhood, and during that period, you can strategize and convince other Sims to vote for a certain action plan. You're going to be needing 5 influence points for that, or you can vote multiple times for a certain action plan to ensure that that action plan that you wanted actually wins. So for each vote, 10 influence points are going to be taken away from you. The same case goes for repelling against a certain neighborhood action plan. Now, if you just simply don't like a certain action plan that's enforced in your gameplay in your neighborhood, you can repel against it, and the same influence points are basically required to repel against that certain neighborhood action plan. In the user interface, you can see that there are 3 neighborhood action plans currently enforced in my neighborhood, and you can have up to 4 neighborhood action plans enforced at the same time. You cannot have more. You can have from 1 to 4, but you cannot go above that. Now let's dive deeper into all of the neighborhood action plans that there are in the game, and the first one that I'm going to be covering is the Free Love NAP. The description says, who needs negativity when you could be drenched in love? Who needs jealousy when you could be embraced with understanding? Vote with your heart and we can transform our community into a butterfly of love of all. Whether single, married, or just open, we embrace loving each other in all of its beautiful forms. When free love reigns, you can gain influence through romantic interactions. So this is one of the most interesting NAPs that there are in the game, and with this NAP you are able to have multiple romantic interests in the game without the significant other being jealous at all. So you can have multiple romantic partners around you and, you know, kiss them, make out, even woohoo, and they won't get jealous at all. Of course, everything is good and loving and kind when this NAP is enforced, but when it's repelled against and when it's not on the NAP board, then Sims are gonna go back to their natural state, and you just have to be extra careful when you perform those romantic interactions again in front of those other romantic interests. Now moving on to the Juice Community Neighborhood Action Plan. This is also a very interesting neighborhood action plan. It's gonna change the way other Sims behave for sure in your neighborhood, and well, everyone is gonna get juiced up immediately. The description says, get ready to get juiced. In support of all things fizzy and funky, this NAP wants to get everyone juiced up. Gain influence by using the practical juice fizzing and mixology skills to make concoctions for the entire neighborhood. Now this is gonna encourage your Sims, of course, to make fizzy drinks, to drink them and everything, but that's not all, because the entire neighborhood is gonna get dazed up. They're gonna get in the dazed emotional state, and everyone is basically gonna look juiced up while this NAP is in action. You might find a lot of NPCs outside of your home drinking and being juiced up, but of course your own Sims are also gonna be rewarded by influence points if they participate in any juice activities in the game. You can definitely tell by my Sim that she's been enjoying the Juice Community NAP way too much. The next NAP is called Promote Creative Arts. The mark of a true artistic community is a shared passion for the creative arts. Support this maker mindset with your vote, and you'll be rewarded not only with the pride you get from creating, but also with influence from doing painting, photography, writing, fabrication, and other artistic activities. Professionals working as painters, style influencers, freelance crafters, or writers will also earn increased pay while this NAP is active. With this NAP, all of your creative Sims are gonna be encouraged to work on their creative skills, but that's not all, because if they are in any of the creative careers, they're gonna be getting increased payrolls and, you know, a bigger paycheck while this NAP is enforced. There's nothing negative to this NAP, so Sims can only benefit from this neighborhood action plan, especially if they are in a creative business themselves. Moving on, we have the Foodies Unite NAP. Neighbors, let's get cooking. There are so many fabulous organic, non-organic, homegrown, and freebie ingredient options out there. Crack out that cutting board and start experimenting. Under the Foodies Unite NAP, members of the community will be rewarded influence by exercising their tasty skills in homestyle, gourmet, or any other style of cooking. This is another one of those NAPs that don't have a negative side effect to them, because honestly, you're just going to be getting influence points by doing something that your Sims are doing anyways every single day. So why not just encourage the Foodies Unite NAP and get some influence points along the way to get some better NAPs enforced in your neighborhood. Switching up to the FunLoving Community NAP, recreation should be celebrated, not stifled. It's time to eradicate boredom and embrace having fun. Vote for this NAP, and not only will we be able to let loose as a whole, but residents will also be rewarded with influence for doing activities that involve comedy, mischief, and even video gaming. So with this NAP, the entire neighborhood is going to be doing these interactions, including practicing comedy, doing some mischievous interactions with one another, and, you know, playing video games on their smartphones, because why not? I also found it interesting how at one point point, the entire community came together to play with the lump of clay. It was definitely interesting to see all of them all together playing with this object that I basically never seen my Sims use before in the game. And there they are, just playing with their lump of clay. So they're going to be doing a lot of random fun-loving interactions while this NAP is enforced. And really, there's nothing negative to it. Next up, it's time to support the performing arts. There are some who say music is healing for the soul and performing is healing for the heart. Uplift our community and gain influence by not only sharing the melodies of the instruments that you play, but also by expressing other forms of performing arts. Professionals working in entertainment-related careers can also enjoy increased pay while this NAP is active. This one is rather interesting because it's going to be more tied into some of the previous packs. So for example, the Sims 4 Get Famous expansion pack. I'm pretty sure that your Sims are going to be rewarded more and be doing more performing act activities such as acting, for example, in the middle of the neighborhood. And practicing some of the lines with other Sims as well. So I'm pretty sure that singing is also going to be tied into this if you have the Sims 4 City Living installed. So Sims will probably be singing left and right while this NAP is enforced. And it's really going to uplift your neighborhood and give it a total loving Broadway charm. Next up, it's time to rock your body and mind. What better way to care for oneself than with the accountability of a whole community? This initiative puts the action back in neighborhood action plans. Together, we can make sure that all Sims in the neighborhood are practicing their fitness, keeping up on hygiene, looking after their overall well-being, and boosting their influence while they're at it. So there's nothing really specific that I haven't seen my Sims do before, except for the fact that they're now stretching in the middle of the street. For the first time, I have seen my Sims stretching on the sidewalk, and to be honest, this was a welcome change after seeing my Sims before the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack, randomly doing sit-ups and crunches on the sidewalks. I mean, this is probably gonna happen a lot more often after this NAP is enforced, but to be honest, there's nothing negative to it. Your Sims are gonna be a lot more active doing jogging, and of course your own Sims is gonna be getting influence points by doing some of the things they've already done before. So showering and, just taking care of themselves, working out in the gym, jogging, and stuff like that. The tech support NAP is all about encouraging your Sims to work on their programming skills, the rocket science skills, and improving upon the careers that are related to the tech support NAP as well. So the description says, have you grown too comfortable with things just the way they are? Don't be caught NAPing on your community's technological progress. Working with programming, rocket science, or other methods, we can continue to make our world a better place through technology and boosting our influence while doing it. As an additional bonus, Sims working in tech-related careers fields such as astronauts, tech gurus, scientists, freelance programmers, and civil designers will also have increased pay if this initiative gets voted in. So I haven't seen my Sims doing any specific interactions while the tech support NAP was enforced, probably because I wasn't playing too much of it. I found it to be the least entertaining NAP because I don't play a lot of these features in the game myself, so I kind of just skipped through it, but the description says already what this NAP is all about. Sims are going to be getting an additional bonus if they are in any of these mentioned career fields, and of course their skills that are related to the tech support are going to be encouraged, and Sims are going to be getting influence points while doing such activities. Moving on, we have the self-sufficiency NAP. Why keep feeding the corporate beast and continue spinning on this degrading hamster wheel of consumerist shame? Wow, this description is already too aggressive, but we can rise up and maintain a perfectly good community ourselves. We can live in a community where things like fishing, gardening, and handiness are rewarded with increased influence, as well as a sense of accomplishment. So with this NAP, Sims are going to be encouraged to do all of the things by themselves. So no longer should they rely on services or, calling a repairman to fix some of the appliances on their home, or maybe even relying too much on food that has been made by someone else. So with this, they're going to be encouraged to get all of the food by themselves and grow the food by themselves, or even fish out the food by themselves. Not only are they going to be getting influence points with this, but they're also going to be getting some positive buffs along the way. It's time to get upgrading, because with eco-friendly appliances, your Sims are going to get encouraged to upgrade every single object and appliance in their home. Neighbors, I think we could all benefit from a good NAP, one that promotes even the smallest changes to help make a difference. Together, we can push to fix our neighborhood one appliance at a time. Let's take action into our own hands by making handiness skill and influence easier to get by using green upgraded appliances or by repairing any appliance. With the Eco Lifestyle expansion pack, you get a brand new upgradable, which is called the Eco Upgrade Part, and you can get it through the fabricator machine. It's not very hard to produce, and with it you can upgrade almost any appliance on your home. I found this NAP to be very interesting because it doesn't only encourage to upgrade your own home where your household is, but it also encourages to get your entire neighborhood and get their own appliances upgraded with the Eco Upgrade Parts as well, so that the entire neighborhood can basically aim towards the green eco footprint much more easily. This also has a positive effect onto some of the skills as well, and Sims will definitely be getting influence points while upgrading their appliances with Eco Upgrade Parts. What better way to get your entire neighborhood to push towards the green eco footprint than to enact the Green Gardening NAP? Have you always had the yearning to start gardening but never quite had the gumption to do it? Well, this fresh new NAP might be just the thing to push you over the figurative mound of procrastination soil. Grab your snips, cast your vote, and you'll get influence for flexing your mighty green thumb. Growing a garden is beneficial for you, the community, and the planet. Let's all dig in. This NAP is definitely gonna encourage your entire neighborhood to dig into those planter boxes and plant something. So it's gonna definitely help out your entire neighborhood to push towards the green eco footprint, and it's a very cool way of earning influence points for some of the other NAPs as well. If you want to make a neighborhood that focuses entirely on gardening, this is the perfect NAP for you. Also, if you have a community garden space in the neighborhood where this NAP is enforced, Sims are definitely going to be enjoying a lot more and taking a lot more initiative to plant the entire community garden space with some new plants and some new life. The clean energy production NAP is all about producing that clean energy and not relying to other sources. We have the luxury of living in a world that provides us with everything we need. We just need to learn how to harness that energy. With the clean energy NAP in place, members of the community will be rewarded with influence for owning functional clean energy producing objects like solar panels, wind turbines, and dew collectors. This NAP is really simple because all you have to do is place down some solar panels, wind turbines, and dew collectors on your lot. So just make sure that the entire neighborhood has them placed down, because then everyone can get some influential rewards while producing the clean energy. Of course, if you are producing energy using some of the generators for water and power, I'm pretty sure that your Sims are gonna have some negative effects while this NAP is in state. The next NAP is all about taking the upcycling initiative. Why spend your simoleons on something you could create for yourself? Why do we throw away so many materials that could go into something special and new? With the upcycling initiative, we are giving influence to everyone using recyclers to get materials and fabricators to turn those materials into something responsibly wonderful. I had a lot of time while playing under this NAP because I had my freaking sim dumpster dive for some of the objects, and he actually found a lot of useful objects that were placed in the household inventory. Eventually, I got back home and I fixed all of the objects that I could have fixed. And during this process, my sim was getting influential points, which I really appreciated actually. While this NAP is in place, your Sims are also going to be encouraged to recycle along the way, fix some of the objects that they have taken from dumpster diving, and all of those amazing freegan things that freegans usually get to enjoy. There aren't really any negative side effects of having this NAP enforced. Your Sims are just going to be dumpster diving regularly for those new objects and turning them into something beautiful and amazing. The next two NAPs are all about conservation. So first off, we have power conservation. Energy isn't free, so what can we do on our part to help conserve? The Power Conservation Action Plan helps to answer that difficult question. Step 1. Limit your household's overall consumption of power by avoiding overuse of electronics. And step 2. Sacrifice one teensy-weensy day per week without power. The Landgrab Power Company even agreed to give a discount on utility bills for this. Failure to conserve a satisfactory amount of power for your household size as defined by the Board of NAP will result in a daily fine. Please thoroughly enjoy your day. The other NAP, which is focused on water conservation, has a rather similar description, and it says, let's admit it, the water isn't quite flowing with the flow with which it used to flow. How can we all chip in and help to conserve? We believe that with the pairing of a weekly water shutoff day and an organized effort to consume less water, this community can really make a difference. Also, failure to conserve a satisfactory amount of water for your household size, as defined by the Board of NAP, will result in a daily fine. With this NAP, there's a certain limit of water and power that you can use for your household size during the day. I haven't actually seen what the limits are, so there haven't been any specific penalties for my Sims, but your Sims can definitely get penalties if they overuse objects that rely on power and water way too much. And another thing with these conservation days is the fact that you never know when a conservation day is actually going to happen within that week. So in my game, it occurred that after I loaded up this household, immediately it was conservation day for my Sims, and my Sims weren't able to use any electrical items on the lot because, well, it's power conservation day. So this thing will last until 9 p.m. and until then, it's basically a time window of 12 hours. During that time, your Sims won't be able to use any power or water if it's water conservation day, and that conservation day NAP has been applied. So yeah, your Sims just have to plan ahead while these NAPs are in force. It's time to get fighting because the roughhousing and courage NAP has been enforced. Have you ever heard another Sim's opinion and thought, I should be polite, but I really think this conversation would be better if I asserted my stance, refused to back down, and ultimately engaged in a full-out neighborhood brawl? Well, we're with you. Sometimes we believe there is such a thing as being too polite. We should band together to make this world better, one fight cloud at a time. A world where we can speak our mind without any hurt feelings or bruised egos. Vote for the roughhousing encouraged NAP, and you can gain influence by using mean interactions on other Sims, if that's the kind of Sim you want to be. This NAP is pretty much the complete opposite of the free love NAP, and well, if Sims haven't been very aggressive previously, well, they will be now because all of the mean interactions are being enforced and encouraged in your entire neighborhood. So if you see Sims slapping each other, throwing drinks in their face, or creating these fight clouds, then just don't be surprised because it's probably because this NAP is in place. And if you're against it, if you don't enjoy seeing your Sims fighting each other, you can always appeal against it. Then we get the Sharing is Caring Neighborhood Action Plan, and what this NAP does is that it allows burglary inside of your neighborhood. It's nothing illegal, so this is something that's going to be encouraged inside of the entire neighborhood, and it can be considered as friendly. So the description says, some Sims own a lot of things, some Sims own just a little bit of things, but what if everyone could just own everything? See that bike sitting there? That could be your bike, or anyone's bike. With this initiative, everything you see can be yours. You see something, you take it. No questions asked. No repercussions. Just don't get too attached to anything you already own. When it comes to other Sims stealing the objects from your lot, they're gonna have to knock on your door first politely. So they're not really burglars like we've seen previously in the Sims franchise. They are just neighbors borrowing your objects for, well, eternity. So you first have to make an introduction and invite them in, and well, it might take a while before they do anything. So I had my Sim, Bess, over here. She politely asked herself to sit at the computer. She was playing the computer for a little bit, and then afterwards she decided to swipe My sink. That's correct. She stole my sink just like that. And the thing about your neighbors stealing objects from you while this NAP is active is that you won't be able to confront those neighbors for doing so because it's an official NAP and it's sort of like a rule for other Sims to just steal objects from your lot. But don't worry because you can also get back at your neighbors. So I had my own Sim visit his neighbor's home and I've actually decided to swipe this huge grandfather's clock. The interaction says attempt to swipe, but I'm pretty sure that the attempt is always successful while this NAP is active. I'm also sure that other Sims won't be mad if they notice that you're swiping their own object, since my own Sims weren't able to react to my neighbors swiping objects from them. So yeah, it's kind of like a win-lose situation. You can always try to get back the same amount of objects that they've stolen from you. It might not be the same object, but you can definitely get back the worth that they've stolen from you. And I do believe that there's a limit, so you can only swipe one object per day, so you have to choose very carefully. Let's get back to the old days now. I remember the good old days. We used to play board games and read books. Nowadays, all anyone can think about is their phone and their TV. They're juicing it up, chugging all their wretched juice. And what's with the obsession with woohoo? Woohoo in the bed, woohoo in the rocket ship, woohoo in the hot tub, woohoo in the observatory. And if that wasn't enough, now you delinquents are woohooing in dumpsters. Gross. With the initiative, those who live a wholesome lifestyle of reading books and playing board games will be rewarded with influence. And those who indulge in technology, drinking juice, and woohoo will be properly fined for their woeful deeds. So this NAP has both positive and negative outcomes. The positives are basically if you want to have a neighborhood full of elderly people who just enjoy reading books and playing board games and stuff like that, who don't want to indulge too much into technology and all of that new stuff. But the negative outcomes are basically for all of the Sims who are younger than elders and who autonomously do interactions with technology, with smartphones, and well, with woohooing. I know that woohooing isn't autonomously, but yeah. So every time your Sim does a bad thing that's forbidden by this NAP, such as woohooing or even drinking juice and using technology, they'll get a simoleon fine immediately. So you'll get a notification in the top right corner saying, oh, we caught you doing this. So for this case, it was we caught you woohooing in the dumpster. And my Sims have gotten the 25 simoleons fine. I don't think it's really that bad, but if you do a lot of these interactions and the neighborhood watch sees you doing stuff like this, well, you'll run out of simoleons pretty quickly. And last, but certainly not the least, We Wear Bags neighborhood action plan. Our community values reducing and recycling, but has anyone else noticed that the paper bags are starting to pile up? We wouldn't dare throw those away. They could come to good use someday. Don't you think every last one of those 8,346 neatly folded pieces of untapped potential have finally earned their time to shine? With the We Wear Bags action plan, we can proudly wear our bags as a mark of our eco lifestyles. To be honest, there isn't anything specific to this neighborhood action plan. It's just a cute addition that enforces the entire neighborhood to wear bags on their heads, and that's it. They're just wearing bags. I haven't seen anything specific or new other than the fact that they're wearing bags on their heads, but other than that, it's just a cute little addition that adds a certain mark on your neighborhood. And with that being said, I have covered every single neighborhood action plans that there are in the Sims 4 Eco Lifestyle that you can enforce on every single neighborhood in the Sims 4. I haven't covered the 2 action plans that revolve around cleaning up the neighborhoods and modernizing the neighborhoods of Evergreen Harbor. That's gonna be a specific video so I can showcase each and every neighborhood on what it looks like, but I just wanted to give you guys a sense of what these neighborhood action plans are and what they do in the game. So guys, let me know what you think about these neighborhood action plans in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to this channel for all the latest news and updates on the Sims franchise. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys in my next one. Bye!